Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. For those of you who haven't been here over the last couple of years, the cryptocurrency space has a very rich history of wealthy individuals telling us where the price of Bitcoin is going to go. This started many years ago with a number of higher up figures within the cryptocurrency space, and I dare only say they were just millionaires, announcing that at some point Bitcoin was going to go to $1,000. We would eventually see a $10,000 Bitcoin. This is how Mike Novogratz actually ended up being popular. He was the first person to state, as far as I know, that Bitcoin was going to go to $10,000 per coin in 2017. It ended up going to $20,000, and this is why he is one of the more spoken about people within the cryptocurrency space. However, as we get closer to the next Bitcoin halving, which is, I believe, in May 2024. It sounds correct. It's springish 2024. The plethora of wealthy people who continue to believe that Bitcoin is going to hit some astronomical number also continues to rise as well. His name is Larry Lepard, that is Lepard, managing partner at Boston-based investment management firm Equity Management Associates, believes that apparently we are witnessing the current end of the US dollar. I'm sure many of you have been watching the news, and probably the crypto news and or YouTube-ish news, where a lot of people are talking about the BRICS nations, BRICS nations, beginning to create their own form of currency that would flow through them, that would actually be able to circumvent and or devalue the US dollar. How much of that I believe? About this much. This has been attempted before. This is not the first time that people have tried to get away from the US dollar. I think a lot of, and I say this lightly, a lot of younger people tend to not read history and or know about any other economic crises and or events that have taken place previously before. This is not the first time that countries are trying to get away from the US dollar, and it probably will not be the last. However, Larry Lepard believes that we are witnessing the collapse of the US dollar and that there are too many different things fighting against it at the exact same time. And he actually believes that Bitcoin is one entity as well that actually stands a chance at being able to, I can't use the word destroy, but get around, there we go, get around the dollar's depreciation. That one sounds a lot nicer. He thinks that people will begin to move their money in mass into Bitcoin in the relative future. And he thinks that within the next decade, 10 years, that would give us a good 2033, that people would barely be using the US dollar, as they are going to find out exactly how scarce Bitcoin is. And I know that sounds ridiculous because we've gone over this before. There are a lot of people, even within the cryptocurrency space, who don't realize exactly how scarce Bitcoin is. You can hear it multiple times, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense in your mind because you keep thinking that there's going to be Bitcoin on exchanges forever, or that the prices will kind of always be where they are. It happens a lot of times whenever the prices of cryptocurrencies tend to rise. I always see people saying, I wanted to stay lower longer. And it's like, you had 3 years. It's not going to, it has to go up eventually at some point. He says or believes that as economic pressures continue to rise around the world, more people will be looking at Bitcoin as an alternative. When Bitcoin gets to 100,000, this will be something that switches in the minds of people, and they will begin to believe a lot more in this new economic system as they see other fiat currencies beginning to depreciate. He said the kicker is going to be when Bitcoin actually ends up hitting 1 million, and then it's kind of like the floodgates are open. Everyone will realize that they should have gotten into Bitcoin before. They did not, and therefore now is the time for them to do so. His final price prediction is that he believes that Bitcoin is going to hit $10 million. But for those of you who do not know the essence of this prediction, why do I keep doing this? The essence of the idea of Bitcoin hitting $10 million per coin is that most of, if not all of, other fiat currencies have collapsed. And it then becomes apparent that the only people who benefit from this are the people who are then holding crypto. The idea being, If you have an entire Bitcoin, you've made $10 million. If you don't have an entire Bitcoin, you're trying to scrounge up some Satoshis just to be able to literally make ends meet. And I've mentioned before that I do personally think that this is the future that we're heading towards. Not to put it in like a dark mood for the video, but it's more of a, just look at all the stuff that's happening around us. Yeah, just thought I'd bring you another rich person talking about how high Bitcoin's going to go news, because I usually always assume that they ended up buying Bitcoin about 10 years ago when most rich people were telling us not to get into the market news. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening. Yeah, there we go. Of course, that comes next. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you. Oh, and also the description will of course be in the comment section as always. We'll be talking to you all soon. See you.